Okay, the purpose of this video is to show you how to use your TI-84 calculator to find the x-intercepts on a graph. We often call those x-intercepts zeros because those points are where the y-coordinate is always 0. So what you would do first is you would go to y equals, you would type in your equation into y1. I entered 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 1. You also would want to make sure that when you graphed this, you could see on your screen all of the places where the x-intercepts existed. Often we start with a window that is just -10 to +10. You can either type that in manually or you can press the zoom button and choose option 6 for Z standard, and the calculator will automatically set the window from -10 to +10 for you. I can see with this graph, there are 1, 2, 3 zeros. If you wanted to zoom in a little bit more to make this a little closer, you could. I'll go ahead and just leave it at this window for now. Okay, what you're going to choose next is you're going to press the second button. You're going to go into this calculate menu, which is underneath the trace button, and you're going to want to choose option number 2 for 0. Keep in mind that is just a synonym for x-intercept. Okay. As most of the functions are on the calculator, it prompts you in the bottom left corner what you need to do. Since there are 3 x-intercepts, we would have to repeat this process 3 separate times to calculate each of those. When it gives you the prompt left bound, you're going to be using these left and right arrows. And you're going to want to start, if we're going to find this leftmost x-intercept, you're going to want to start by having your cursor a few taps to the left of that x-intercept. You're going to press enter. You will notice an arrow up above and a faint vertical line. That is the calculator's way of saying, so you're telling me that the x-intercept does not go any farther to the left than where you put that line. Now it says right boundary. So you want to make sure that you bring the cursor just a tap or two on now what would be the right-hand side of that first x-intercept and press enter. Again, and I think we're not really seeing the vertical line here because it's right over top of the y-axis, but you can see this little arrow. We're narrowing down for the calculator somewhere in between those arrows, these 2 vertical lines is where we're saying the x-intercept is. Finally, for guess, you will move the cursor as close as you can to the x-intercept. You will press enter. It will prompt you here telling you that the coordinate of that x-intercept, calling it a 0, is roughly -0.36. And then no surprise here, the y-coordinate should in fact be 0. Okay. If we were to repeat that same process on the second one, again, you would go second trace, choose 0. This time, the left side of this second x-intercept is actually my cursor being up here. It is to the left of that x-intercept. I'm going to hit enter. Now I should move it to the right of that x-intercept. So I'm going to move it over there and enter. Again, you can see these arrows should always be pointing towards each other. If you ever get an error message that says error boundary, it generally means you accidentally started by having your cursor on the right side of your x-intercept, then you moved it to the left, and you always want to follow the prompts. The prompts always have you start on the left, then go to the right, and then finally guess. Okay, again, that second x-intercept would be roughly 0.40, comma 0. Okay, you get the idea, so I will not do this next one. But if part of the graph goes off the screen, you will just have to keep moving to the right, and once you select second, calculate 0, and it'll go all the way down here and back up again. Okay,